Chapter 5. You guys are down here at the beach because I news story some controllers are down there too? Marco asked for a 10th time. Yes, Marco, Jake said patiently. Maybe it's asking Tobias to get some feeling from down there closer to sea. So let me get this straight. We're making decisions based on dreams, right? But my dreams are totally ignored. The fact that I once dreamed about staying home watching TV in total safety, that means nothing, right? Right, Jake said flatly. We were at the beach, the same beach where a guy in the news found what now believes was a piece of the Andalite ship. It was night, a sliver of the moon pan ripples of silver across the backwater. A salt breeze blew up the water, making me feel peaceful but overwhelmed, intimidated the way the ocean always makes me feel. There's nothing as big as the ocean. It's like an entirely different planet full of strange plants and fantastic animals. Valleys and mountains and caves and broad flat plains all hidden from our sight. All I could see was the surface, and all I could feel was the barest edge of the ocean, rushing over my toes as each wave crashed ashore. But I could sense it out there, just how vast it is and how tiny I was. What would my dream of living long to get a driver's license? Jake gave Marco his aspirated look. Marco, you can turn into a bird and fly. You could do it now. Why do you care about driving a few years from now? The babes, Marco said instantly. Duh, you can't pick up birds when you're a girl. I mean, you can't pick up girls when you're a bird. I swear I made that same mistake when I read this last time. You can't pick up girls when you're a bird. He glanced overhead where he could just see a hint of dark wings canopy of stars. No offense, Tobias, the wings are great, but thinking something bright red, maybe 400 horsepower. His mood hadn't lasted long. I knew it wouldn't. He's never happy unless he's complaining, just like Rachel's are happy unless she has something to fight against. And Tobias is never happy, period. If he thinks if he's ever happy, someone just come along and take it away. Aww. That's so sad. So Cassie, Rachel said, do you feel anything? Well, I feel embarrassed and a little foolish. Maybe we try calling to psychic friends, Marco suggested. Hi, is this psychic friends? Been dreaming about aliens lately. Why Cassie and Tobias, Marco wondered aloud, ignoring him. Why did they get images so clear and the rest of us barely felt anything? Jake shook his head. I don't know, I mean, okay, say you're an Andalite. You want to call for help? Who do you want to come rescue? Other Andalites, obviously. Tobias and an Andalite, neither am I. I know, but maybe it's whatever is tied with the ability to morph, you know, like morphing ability. That way only Andalites be able to receive it, which doesn't explain why we... Maybe it does, Marco interrupted. Serious again. Look, Tobias is permanently in morph, and Cassie, you're the one who has the most talent for it. He flashed white teeth in the dark. Besides, you know you like animals more than humans, so maybe you're halfway into it anyway. Suddenly a dark shape swooped overhead. Lights, Tobias called, up ahead on the beach. There's a bunch of people moving in flashlights that are searching for something. You can't see them because they're hidden by that dune, but they'll be here in a couple minutes. Who are they? Can't tell. My eyes ain't great during the day, but at night I don't see any better than you do. I'm a hawk, not an owl. I still hear pretty well. You guys hide in the dunes, I'll be right back. And with that, he was gone. Come on, Jake said, he's right. Let's hide in the dunes. We crashed down a pocket between two dunes. I fell flat on my belly and the cold sand peered through the tall grass, focusing on a bright line of the surf. Tobias was back a few minutes later. It's them, he said. He had to rest on a piece of driftwood. A group from the sharing. Chapman's with them. He turned to look at Jake. Tom's with them too. The sharing is a front organization for the Yeerks. Supposedly it's a group for all ages like Boy Scouts or whatever, but in reality it's from where the controllers are trying to recruit new voluntary hosts. As impossible it may seem, some humans actually decide to become hosts for the Yeerks. They like it that way because they either have a voluntary host instead of one to resist them. The sharing is very subtle, of course. People are brought along very slowly over time. New members have no idea what they're all about first. They think it's just fun and games. I don't know what they tell the members what's really happening. I guess when it's too late. They either become hosts voluntarily or they're taken anyway. Tom's with them? I'm pretty sure some of the senior members, Chapman and Tom, are falling behind the others. I hear that some of the others saying they're very worried about a fragment of the Andalite ship. So it is Andalite, Rachel asked aside. I guess so, or something else too. The way it said made me tense up. What? Some at Visitor Free having visions, that's what they said. Visions. I guess they made him cranky. He's on the mership at the time decided to shove a Hartbajura on airlock because they broke his concentration. It's because of his Andalite body, Marco said. That's the connection. The dreams or visions of some kind of communication only supposed to be heard by Andalites. Suddenly I saw a line of flashlights swing into view. There must have been 20 people strung on the beach or looking at the sand moving forward slowly. They're searching for any other fragments, I whispered. Then part of our line stopped moving and heard someone yelling. Ours came up. What'd they find? I don't... Then a flash came to me. Our footprints! 4 sets of footprints suddenly turned off in the dunes. Let's get out of here, Jake hissed. Now! Too late. The beams raced across the rippling sand upside of a dune. And instead of doesn't flashlight beams focused on a notch where we crouched. We slithered back down out of sight and we jumped up and ran. We should morph, Rachel gasped. No, Margaret said. Tracks. We would leave tracks that went from human to animal. Get them, someone yelled. Chapman, I think. He's our assistant principal. I knew his voice from hearing him yell in the hallways. Jerky wild beams of light danced all around us. We ducked and ran as fast as we could, but running across sand was like running through quicksand. Jake was gasping and whisper instructions. Double around. If they follow us deeper into the dunes, we double around, get to the water, and morph. There, I see them. A beam of light swept over me. I could see my shadow along a twist directing on a sand. I dodged left out of sight just in time. Blam blam. Gunfire. Someone was shooting at me. Chapter 6. It seemed totally crazy. I mean, I've been one-on-one combat to death with 7-foot-tall heart-bridger warriors. I've been shot by Drake on me sword to disintegrate you slowly, but I've never been shot with a plain old everyday gun. It seemed nuts of what we've been through. Blam blam blam. Her sling hit the sand inches from my foot. Ah! I cried in surprise. This was real. This is real. This is really happening. A rough hand grabbed me and dragged me forward. Jake, I'm frozen under the bullets so close. They're all in the dunes, Tobias cried. Now's the time. Come on, Jake snapped. He drug me up the side of the dune. By then I was moving fine on my own. I scurried up the side of the hill, snatching a handhold of shrub grass positioning my feet. Over the top, we slid and rolled and ran on the far side. We were back at the beach. I stole a quick glance to my right. No lights on the beach. They were all in the dunes looking for us. Head to the water, Jake said. Morph to fish. Jake, trout. They're freshwater fish. This is saltwater. You have a better idea? Blam blam. No. We splashed in a boiling surf. I ran and pictured the fish. I remember being the fish. Focus as much as anyone can on a dozen or so controllers chasing her and shooting. My feet went out from underneath, they shriveled and gonna disappear, hit the water and got a mouthful of salty foam. I tried to keep my head above water, my arms are rapidly disappearing. The waves are high around me became smaller and smaller. My clothing billowed. The people from the sharing controllers raced on the water's edge. I could see her lights weirdly distort my eyes went from air adapted ones to ones of a fish. What was up to my ears I heard, the tracks lead right to the water. Tom's voice and Chapman's. I don't see them. They can't swim far. The current's too strong. Fan out and up and down the beach. Do you think they're ant-like gorillas? No, they're human. Some sort of kids probably. I doubt they saw anything. That fool should not have been shooting. Sir, new voice said, pair of their jeans and a sir voice it could be for a kid. Any identification? No, nothing. Coincidence? Probably. If they're human, why don't we see them out there? 4 sets of tracks, no humans in the water. Is it possible? Is Visitor-Free wrong? What if they're not Andalites at all? I sank beneath the water. The morph was complete, but under her Chapman laughed coolly. Visitor-Free wrong? Maybe, but I'm not the fool who's going to try and tell him that. The morph was complete. I was a fish less than a foot long, a trout to be exact, excellent boiled, fried, or grilled. The salt water was harsh on my scales, my gills were barely able to breathe. Everyone okay? It was Jake. Now he morphed me had the same thought speech ability as Tobias. I'm okay, but I can barely breathe. I think we better be quick. I'm with Cassie. I feel like my scales are burning out. My gills are on fire. Keep the shore on your life and go full speed as long as you can stand it. Marco, are you with us? Oh sure, where else would I be? What could possibly be more fun than running around sand dunes, getting shot at and jumping into the ocean, turning into a trout which incidentally can't live in salt water? Wouldn't miss it for anything. Now can we go home and watch TV? Well, that's a close one. Chapter 7. The next couple of days we didn't get together except for passing each other in the hallways at school. We do have lives beyond being Animorphs after all. Rachel's busy her gymnastics class, plus she got to go to a ceremony where her mother received some sort of award for being Lawyer of the Year. And since Rachel, we go into awards dinner meet and major shopping for new everything. Jake was busy mowing a test because he hadn't studied. Jake had been totally blown a test he hadn't studied, so he had to do papers and makeup work. And I was busy on my dad in the barn where the golden eagle had almost been electrocuted. He was in a difficult stage of his recovery. Tobias dropped by one evening and acted like kind of snippy and asked about me saving the eagle. Golden eagles and hawks don't get along, probably because they're known to kill and eat hawks. It was a couple days later, Jacob rode his bike over my house. I didn't inspect him, so I was dressed in even more of a slob than usual, plus a reeked of various horrible things I was mucking out the stables, including the bird cages. Typical guy, had a totally bad time to show up and I looked like I missed manure. Hey Cassie said in a casual way that nothing was going on. Hi Jake, to come by help me shovel manure? He grinned. He had a great smile. Kind of appeared slowly, like it didn't quite belong on a serious face. I don't know, did I? Yes, you did. I told him and handed him a shovel. If I had to smell, so did you. Cute. He worked a little with no sound of the steel shovel blades scraping the concrete. I knew he had something to tell me. I could always tell, but I figured I'd let him get around to it when he was ready. So? Look, I guess everyone's kind of waiting to see what you decide to do. That surprised me. I stopped shoveling. What do you mean? I mean, we're waiting to see what you decide to do with this dream of yours. I shrugged. I don't know, besides it's not just mine, Tobias says too, and you guys felt it a little at least. Yeah, but he figured it's not much help when, if we decide to do anything. We're talking water and he can't morph. As for the rest of us, I don't know. Rachel and DeMarco were talking about whether it's just something they imagine, you know? Because you made it seem so real. What do you think, Jake? He stopped working and wiped his forehead at the back of his hand. He looked straight in my eyes. Cassie, if you tell me it's real, it's real. I think you and Tobias are right, but Marco's having second thoughts. He raised an eyebrows to say, you know, Marco. I have a queasy, sick feeling. You mean I'm supposed to make some kind of decision? Like I'm supposed to say what we do? Cassie, you're the one with the dream. Only you can decide if it's real or real enough for us to do anything. I don't know if it's real. I said, what's he asking me to do? Every time I try to get into it with the Yerks, we end up barely escaping our lives. Just 2 days ago I heard bullets whizzing past me. Jake, wait till I met his gaze again. Cassie, you know we all trust your instincts. You're the best at understanding animals. You're the best morpher. You know everyone respects you. I made a face. Give me a break. If you think we should pursue this, you know Rachel will be right behind you too. And Marco? He grinned. He won't be right behind you. He'll be several feet back. We both laughed. I don't know, Jake. It's just a dream. Like a vision or something. How do I know if it's real? Hendrik said, I don't know, Cassie. I guess I'll take your best shot and hope you're right. I cringed at that. I'm not Rachel. I'm not a risk taker. Can't you decide for me? I said, joking. He nodded slightly. If you want me to, sure. And if it's a disaster, it'll all be on your head. I said, you're the one who feels bad. You'll be the one to blame. Rachel touched his cheek. Yes, that's really sweet of you, but you're right. I guess it is my decision this time. I gotta say that was pretty smart of him. He knew exactly what to say, it seems. I sighed and looked around the barn. It smelled pretty bad sometimes on nut house of yammering birds and howling wolves and whinnying horses all needing care and all scared of the care we give them, but it was the place I felt most at home in the world. Out in the door of the barn, the fields of corn and open meadows stretched off in a distance till they pressed against dark trees of the forest. I know it's crazy, but the ocean scares me a bit. I understand the land, I understand soul and things go it. I guess I'm just an old farm girl. You know it's been in my family since the Civil War? He winked. Do I know that? Please. I had a Thanksgiving in your family last year, you may remember. Your great-grandmother gave me the whole history. Going back all the way when dinosaurs ruled the earth. Great, you did go on about history, doesn't she? He looked serious again, almost hard. It's your call, Cassie. It'd really be dangerous and we probably won't do much good. I mean, it's a big ocean, but it's your decision. Yeah, I shook my head slowly. I think these dreams are real. I think there's an Andalite out there somewhere and trapped, calling for help. Good enough. Now how do we get there? I frowned thinking of possibilities. Some kind of fish? It'd be something fast, something that doesn't prey. You know, not some kind of fish that gets snapped up by a hungry tuna or whatever. He nodded. That's be something we can acquire too, so something at the gardens. They have sea lions and dolphins, but we can't morph them, can we? Why not? I don't know, it's just... Dolphins? They're really intelligent. It seems kind of, I don't know, kind of wrong. I feel I should point out sea lions are plenty intelligent too. Seals are very smart. They learn all sorts of tricks after all, and everyone calls them sea dogs for a reason. They're dogs of the sea. They're all cute and nice and cute. Anyway, well, you decide, said leaning shoulder against the wall. I have to go. I can't blow another test and I have to study. He climbed back on his bike. You're just saying so you can get out of shoveling manure. Cassie said, I'd rather shovel manure with you and do homework without you any day. I think it was a compliment. Sort of. He rode off leaving much less at ease than I had been before he'd come. I think he'd been very sweet, but that's just me. Chapter 8. The next day after school, LaForest headed to the gardens on a city bus. Tobias flew. He said he'd be there before we were, but he wasn't sure how close to us he could actually get. The gardens is a big amusement park that also includes a zoo. Only they don't call it a zoo, they call it a wildlife park. My mom works there. Actually, she's head of the medical services, the head vet. I had to pass anytime I want, but they always have to pay, which is kind of dry because Marco never has money. Ever since Marco's mom died, his dad was kind of messed up. He just takes temporary jobs and they're always broke. I guess it's kind of romantic the way his dad never got over his wife dying, but on the other hand, I guess it's like I had to learn when I started with my dad with the animals. Sometimes death is just happens, and all you can do is get over it the best you can. It's tough for Marco as he feels he has to take care of his dad, instead of having his dad take care of him. On the bus I glanced at him, he's looking at the window being kind of quiet. Hey Marco, I said. What? Is that a new haircut? You look good. Yeah, he looked surprised, ran his fingers back over his long hair and kind of smiled. I did some homework on the bus. Math. Ugh. And listen to my Walkman. Oh geez, Walkman. I heard about those, but I've never seen one myself. I'm not that old, unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately? I don't know. Age is weird. Anyway, when we got there, it turned out there was special on tickets. Buy two and get a third for $1. Marco had $1, fortunately, so we didn't go through any big scenes. We cruised there where all the rides were. We're heading for a wildlife park. Jake should get sad looking at the monster roller coaster. It used to be the coolest thing in the world to me. Ever since I morphed a falcon, it doesn't seem like a big deal. I mean, you're going maybe 80 miles an hour and still track. When I was a falcon, I did 200 in midair. Morphing does change things, Marco agreed. I used to want to get all pumped up, and then I'm morphing gorilla. It's like, why bother lifting weights? I can just be a gorilla and bench press a truck. I don't feel that way, Rachel said. Being a cat made me more interested in gymnastics. I mean, it's a cat that was just so totally in control and graceful. Ever since then, I've been trying to use that feeling. When I want to bounce, I try to remember that cat feeling. And then you fall off like always. Oh yeah, she made little walking fingers and fell over. Boom! I just slip right off, but I feel confident when I'm falling off. If it helps. We reached the wildlife park entrance. The marine mammals are one of the first exhibits. They're the main building and several outdoor tanks. We went straight for the largest outdoor one. There are bleachers all around on free sides where people sat for performances. The show had just ended and hundreds of people were leaving. The next one would be in a couple hours. Good timing, Jake said. Not too big a crowd. It's a weekday afternoon. It's never all a crowd on school days. We forced our way upstream against the rush people and reached the side of the tank. It's pretty big, like 4 or 5 swimming pools. Very blue, very clean. There's a low platform on one side of the trainer standing to communicate with the dolphins. So, what's the difference between porpoises and dolphins? Marco asked. They're both just fish, right? Sploosh! The surface water exploded a few feet from us. Water sprayed across me. Ooh, we all said as one. He flew straight out of the water like a sleek, pale gray torpedo, 11 feet long from nose to tail. Huh, dolphins are bigger than I thought. 400 pounds. Heavier than I thought. He just flew for air and seemed to hang there 10 feet above the surface of the water, took a skeptical look at us with a permanent wise guy grin, and slid back beneath the water so smoothly as like there was barely a ripple. That's a dolphin, I said to Marco. Okay, I like that. That's excellent, Marco said. Did you see what he did? You know how really great athletes are like they're trying, like Michael Jordan, how everything they do is perfect, and you know they must have practiced for a million hours, always like, oh, no big deal, of course I can fly through the air, nothing to it. That's a dolphin in water. Effortless. Perfect. Utterly in control. Fish swim for the water, sharks swim, tuna swim, trout swim, even people swim. Dolphins don't just swim. They own the water. The water's their toy. The water's a big trampoline and they bounce like kids having a good time. Just watching them makes you feel happy. Makes you feel like you're just a clumpy, awkward wind-up toy, jerky and stumbling and clumsy. Humans may be the smartest things on Earth, but we're sure dorky compared to a lot of our species. You are. He tried to get me and give him some more fish. He just spun around as one of the dolphin trainers, one named Eileen. Oh, hi, Eileen. She nodded to our dolphin who's just splitting out of the water. This time I turned a neat little somersault. Joey's the biggest con artist. He's always trying to get extra fish. He's amazing, I said. Yeah, he is, Eileen agreed with a look of pride. I introduced the others. We were looking at some dolphin information on the internet allied, so we thought we'd come see the real thing. Well, as you know, we have 6 dolphins here. Joey, you just met, Ross, Monica, Chandler, Phoebe, and Rachel. Hey, you guys want to feed them a little? You start throwing fish in the water, now come over. It won't upset the schedule? Nah, just don't let Joey get it all. He's kind of pushy. Eileen left us with a nice big bucket of fish. That is some nasty looking fish, Marco commented. Once you more from those dolphins, you won't think that, Rachel pointed out. Marco gave her a skeptical look. Do you realize a couple of days ago we were fish? Not much different from these fish? He was right, but one thing I wanted to think about. I've always been very involved in animals, but it's a whole different thing you become different animals. Sharks and orcas, am I a joke to you? Yeah, I assume she means in terms of maneuverability, where I assume dolphins have them beat. I am curious about something though. These fish are obviously dead, that's why they're in the bucket, but now I'm just pondering, if they tried to acquire these fish, could they do it? Does it need to be a live animal? I mean, the DNA's still there, ain't it? I don't think it ever gets answered, but I'd assume you could. Well, anyway. I guess it's a little too grisly for a kid's book. You know, aside from getting shot at and things getting eaten and stuff like that. I took a fish by a tail and tossed it in the water, just as Eileen suggested. Might not work at the water, blood inflowing, or etc. That's fair. I took a fish by a tail and tossed it in the water, just like Eileen suggested. The rest of the dolphins showed up quickly. Wow, these guys like to eat, Rachel asked. They put on a show, they also know how to impress humans. It's weird the way they grin at you. I mean, it's like they actually think something's funny. And to make eye contact, you point out, they look right at you. Most animals seem like they're looking past you. These guys look like they maybe recognize you. Jake leaned over the edge of the tank and stroked one of the dolphins. Hi there, do I know you from somewhere? Jake's my name. The dolphin tossed his head back and forth like he's nodding yes, chattering a high-pitched dolphin noise. Okay, now that's weird, Rachel said. I swear he was answering him. Are you so sure he wasn't? Dolphins are very intelligent. Not our kind of intelligence, but still I guess they maybe one of 2 or 3 smartest animals around. It'd be strange morphing something like that, Rachel said. Yeah, I agreed. Strange and wrong somehow. I felt something twist in my stomach. How is doing this any different from what the Yeerks do? Rachel was surprised. The Yeerks take over humans. Besides, they don't morph, they infest. We don't take over the animal, we just copy their DNA and make a new animal, and it controls a new animal. It's not the same, Rachel insisted, but she looked troubled. It's something to think about. It's kind of bothering me. Jake joined Rachel and me. We better do it. I nodded. Yeah, we should before we run out of fish to feed these guys. I leaned over the side of the tank and patted the head of the nearest dolphin. Her skin was rubbery but not slimy, like a wet rubber ball. She grinned up at me, fixing me at one eye. She cocked her head to see me. I pushed away my doubts, closed my eyes, and concentrated on the dolphin. She became peaceful and calm as animals do during the acquiring process. May I? Asked her silently, but of course, she couldn't answer. Personally, I don't think it's much of an issue because, like they said, it's an entirely different animal. But anyway, Chapter 9. That night I dreamed of the voice under the sea calling for help, only this time it sounded faint like a radio with batteries going weak. I wasn't sure if it was a regular dream this time, a dream of a memory that might or may not be real. And I dreamed a dolphin had taken the wildlife park, the one called Monica, though who knew she had a true name of her own. How long has she been in that park? How long has she been free in the open sea? The next day was Friday. There would be no school because of a teacher conference, so we had a 3-day weekend ahead of us. Awesome. I called Jake. Hi Jake, are we going to beach day like we planned? We're always careful about anything when we say over the telephone, lines can be tapped. Besides, Tom, Jake's brother might listen in over instinctually overhear something. Actually, I was thinking the beach would be really crowded today. I saw on a marker and we said maybe we should head down to a river instead. That was a good idea. We couldn't wharf on a beach full of people. I'll be there in 2 hours, okay? Got some chores to do. I ended up being a little late and they're all waiting for me. It was an area I'd been to before with my dad, a little park near the bridge, a good place for fishing. About half a mile away the water empties in the ocean. The river is lined with trees along the most of its length. Here and there are homes and private docks, but spots we chose are hidden from the bridge and from any houses. Hi Cassie, Jake said, smiling. Hi everyone, I smiled to move in on tree branches. Hey Tobias, how's it going? Same old, you know how it is. Hawk, keep mouse we're out there. I laugh, please here's learning to be a piece of the fact at least for a while he's as much a hawk as he was a boy. I'll be the timekeeper, watching a deadly 2-hour limit. I'm the only bird in the world with his own watch. I looked closer and saw a very small digital timer on his leg. Rachel put it on me, explained. I'll be over water the whole time, so I figured to be safe. No bird watches see me wonder, when did Redtail start getting Timexes? Jake said, I figured we'd hide our clothes and wade in the river a little way and start morphing. Sounds good, Rachel said. Cassie, will you go first? I nodded. Sure. For some reason, I decided I'm the best morpher. I think it's mostly silly. We all morph just fine. But the first time morphing new animals is always kind of tense. We never know what it's going to be like. You never know which animal's instincts and mind will resist you. And this time there's a new fear, at least for me. What sort of mind would I find? Will it be just a dolphin instincts, or encounter a true dolphin mind with thoughts and ideas of its own? I shoved my overalls, kicked on my shoes, leaving just the leotards as I thought of my morphing outfit. See, it's possible to morph some clothing with you, but only something skin tight. Anything bulky just ends up as rags, and shoes? Forget that. I stepped in the water. Cold, I reported. The current tugged at my ankles. I waded in a little further to my waist, and I focused on a dolphin that was not part of me. The first change is my skin. It lightened from brown to pale gray. It was like rubber, tough but springy. That was good. I wanted to hang out my legs as long as I could. I wanted to change as many aspects as I could before I dropped in the water. I felt the odd crunchy sound I get sometimes when bones are stretched or compressed, and right before my eyes, literally, my face bulged out and further. Oh man, that's not attractive, Marco groaned. Not a good look for you, Cassie. Morphing usually isn't pretty. In fact, this kind of thing, if you don't think it's going to be alright, would freak you out. I mean, I watched Rachel do an elephant, and I can tell you it's the creepiest, scariest, most disgusting thing you'll ever want to see. Let alone watching people go from human to fish. Totally gross. I didn't have a mirror, but I could guess how I looked. I had this huge long bottlenose sticking out of my otherwise normal face. My skin was gray rubber, and I felt behind me a rapidly shriveling hand felt the triangular blade of a dorsal fin rising out of my spine. My arms are gone, replaced by 2 flat flippers, and I was now standing at 10 feet tall, wobbling on puny human legs. This time, let the rest of the morph proceed. I straightened my legs since we fell face first in the water. I looked down and saw my tail. I was complete. The water was too shallow and I was barely afloat. I kicked my tail and straight along the sandy bottom, finally church out in the deeper water. I waited for the moment where the dolphin mind would surface full of instinct-driven need and hunger and fear, the way it always was. But it wasn't like that. It wasn't like a squirrel or horse. This mind was not filled with fear and need. This mind was... I know it sounds strange, but it's like a little kid. I tried to listen to it, understand its needs and wants, prepare myself for a sudden onslaught of crude, primitive animal demands. Flee, fight, eat. But that didn't happen. There was hunger, but not the screaming, obsessive need Jake felt when he morphed into a lizard or a Rachel became a shrew. And there was no fear. None. Excuse me. Unfortunately, I didn't feel a true, tingling, conscious mind. I breathed a sigh of relief. Just, again, I know it sounds strange, but I found this feeling like she wanted to play. Like a little kid who wants to play. I wanted to chase fish, eat them, and catch them. But that was to be a game. I wanted to race on the surface of the sea, and that'd be a game too. Cassie, or Tobias' thought speech, are you okay? Was that okay? Yeah, Tobias, I feel happy. I feel like, I don't know, like I want you to come play with me. Play with you? I don't think so, Cassie. Hawks don't do water. Come on, everyone, come on, let's go. Let's swim in the ocean. I want to play. Aw. Personally, I'm not sure I agree with the book's take that dolphins don't have human-like intelligence, but I guess it's a relief for her. Plus, there are dogs. They already did dogs, and apparently they didn't think they were super intelligent, but dogs are pretty smart. I'm not entirely sure where you draw the line. But anyway.